Hello there and welcome back to That Handicapping Show, sponsored by TwinSpires.com. I'm Jason Chandler along with James Scully from Brisnet.com. Evan and Tom are off this week, so James and I get to talk about the only Derby prep on the calendar, and that's the Rebel Stakes from Oaklawn Park. It's a mile and a 16th on the main track, and at the taping of this show, James, we do not have the entries yet, but we have a good list of probables, and it looks like there's going to be 12 or as many as 14 horses in this race. Came up a very good betting race. The probable favorite is going to be the Factor, who comes off that sensational win in the San Vicente. The Factor is trying 2 turns for the first time here. He's might be the fastest 3-year-old on the planet around 1 turn, but the question is, can he carry his speed? We'll talk about the other horses later, but I think all handicapping of this race has to start with the Factor, because barring something unforeseen, he's going to have the lead. The question is, how far can he take his lead?
Right, definitely. He's definitely, I mean, the only race where he wasn't on the lead was his debut, and he was off the board that day. So the key for him is, I mean, I think there's not a lot of speed. There's some horses that have, have a front-running style, but they're nowhere near as quick as the Factor. So it'll be interesting to see if he can rate on the front end, and that's what he's going to need to do.
Baffert's called him a runaway train, and if he could rate this horse, he would. I just don't think he's rateable. But the other question is, Santa Anita's been playing like Daytona all meet. Is the dirt at Oaklawn significantly different, where he's not going to be as fast, maybe?
Oh yeah, I mean, Oaklawn has been much fairer this whole meet. I mean, we've seen, I mean, you'll see horses go 6 wide there and win, and you're just not seeing that very often at Santa Anita, unless it rains right after it rains. Sometimes it plays a little fair.
Okay, we'll see how far he can go. Let's talk about some of the other contenders. The top 4 from the Southwest return here, including the winner Arch. Second place, JP's Gusto, and third place, Elite Alex. You also have the other California shipper, Swayaway, who ran a good closing second to the Factor in the San Vicente, and a bunch of local horses, including Alternation, who comes off that impressive allowance win. And I know you like him here for the top spot, right?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's a great race. I looked at the race, and I gave 6 horses a legitimate chance to win this race. So post positions, could be important in the big field, but I do like Alternation. I like the way Donnie Von Hemmel has prepped him this year. He's run him in 2 allowances before, making his stakes debut in the Rebel.
Didn't rush him into anything.
Exactly. So if he's good enough, he'll get the graded earnings in the Rebel and or the Arkansas Derby. He's got plenty of time. He got 2 races, and both allowance races, as it turned out, came against good fields. The first time he beat Elite Alex when he made on January 15th, his first start of the year. And then last time he beat Dreamin' to Win, who's in the Rebel field and had run second in the Smarty Jones.
Right, and he beat him pretty handily. I went back and watched that race yesterday. He came from off the pace. I guess he'll be doing the same thing today. He'll be on Saturday, coming from way back. Right?
Absolutely, he'll look to start launching his rally on the far turn and then run by him in the stretch. And he's finished up great in all of his starts. He's got terrific Brist's late pace ratings, well over 100, and he's working well. He's got 2 consecutive bullet works, 1 at 5 furlongs, 1 at 4 furlongs coming into this race. So he looks primed for a good effort.
Okay, I like him too, and I'll certainly use him. And I think you have to use the Factor. He's just too fast. He's going to be on the lead, and I think you would agree. You got to put him in exotics, even as the favorite.
I like Warfronts. He's had a number of routers from his first crop. I know he was more of a miler, but he's by Danzig, and I think he's going to be a solid route sire. So mile 16th, might be within the Factor's scope.
I mean, it really would not surprise me if you just took him all the way again. He's that fast. I think we'll learn more about him in the Arkansas Derby if he goes there at a mile and an 1/8. I'm not sure even if he wins this that he can be considered a true Derby threat. But that being said, I'm going to go with JP's Gusto, who of course was second in that Southwest, and I also do not think he's a Derby horse. First, let me say that. I think a mile and a 16th is probably right at his limit of where he can be successful. So, but I do like him in this spot here. I went back and watched the Southwest a couple more times, and he had a lot left at the end under Dominguez, and I think Dominguez would be the first to admit that it was not the best trip, not the best ride from him. He got caught along the rail. He was between horses, and then coming off the turn, he was behind a wall of horses, and it took him the whole stretch to get out. And I think, you know, he has good tactical speed. He'll sit a good trip behind the factor and maybe sway away. And I expect him to have a lot left in the stretch here.
Yeah, I think he'll be in front of Sway Away. I think I like have like Sway Away as more of, you know, back, you know, further back along with like Alternation and Elite Alex. So JP's Gusto, he figures to receive a stalk and pounce kind of trip that could, you know, work out well for him.
He's been working really well too. Another bullet. He has a lot of classes too, or more class than anybody in here.
Grade 1 winner.
Grade 1 winner, and you know, has run well at 2 turns before. So it's not like he's just a 1 turn horse. So I'll go with the factor. I'm sorry, JP's Gusto. He'll be a little bit better price than he was in the Southwest when he went off as the favorite. Let's talk about some other horses in here. Arch won that Southwest, but seems to be getting a little disrespected in here. I think people who watched that race were saying, you know, giving excuses to every other horse in the race. Well, Elite Alex was 6 wide, and you know, JP's Gusto, like I just mentioned, had a bad trip, but Arch was pretty impressive in his own right.
And you know, he broke his maiden on December 18th in the Sugar Bowl 6 furlong stake at Fairgrounds, and he was even money in that Smarty Jones. But right after the race, Jinx Fires said, hey, he came out of it with like a heart problem. He cleared right up, and he ran back to that promise last time in the Southwest. And yeah, he's going to be a mid-pack type horse. It's not going to be a dead late runner, and he could get a perfect trip as well in here. I'm
gonna use him in a Sabre Exacta as well as Sway Away, who really closed well in the San Vicente. You know, you're not so sure about him. You thought it might have been a kind of a premature move.
Well, I just think that it was potentially a little bit of a false move, whereby the pace was 43 and change, and he turned at the quarter pole in the stretch. He's still last in that field, and then he makes a big late run. But the front runners, the 2 horses in front of him, were coming back to him. The Factor, Premier Pegasus, they were a little tired from their early exploits. And you know, you just see that kind of move every day where a horse comes flying late for 2nd or 3rd, but a lot of times it's a false move. And to say that he is so well regarded, a lot of people have him like in their top 5 for the Derby, and I think he, you know, the Factor could be favored, but he is going to be very close. They're going to be 1-2 in the wagering either way.
I would agree with you. I think he's a little bit too high on a lot of people's list based on, you know, the nice close into the San Vicente, which who knows if he can equal that. And then Elite Alex has kind of been the buzz horse at Oaklawn all meet. You know, he's had a couple different chances to win, but he kind of hangs a little bit, and he did again in the Southwest.
He has hung in his last 2 races. Now, in his first race, he did. I mean, in the 2 starts back, he broke in a tangle, willing to give him a little bit of excuse there, because it looked like he was going to run by Alternation, and Alternation, you know, repulsed his bid. But Calvin Burrell loves the horse. I mean, he's been comparing him to Street Sense.
I've seen that.
He doesn't have the 2-year-old form, but he was wide. He was about 6 wide, 7 wide, turning for home. That was his first stakes start. So he is eligible to keep moving forward, and it is dangerous here.
Yeah, he might be a horse that's better longer too. You know.
Right, absolutely. Out of an unbridled mare, he's got a really good pedigree.
Yeah, so he'll be a. I mean, I think he was a little bit over bet in the Southwest. I think he'll be more of a fair price. What was he?
He was 2-1.
2-1, which I wouldn't have touched him at that. But here he's liable to be 6-7 to 1 or more.
Yeah, definitely. So very well
anyway,
matched.
Very good betting racers. Also a lot of local horses that are looking to move up, and we don't have time to get into all of them. But you know, there's a lot of value on the board if you like some of those.
Yes.
So, good betting race all around, and Oaklawn's got a great card that day. So
the Zeri Stakes, Hof de Grace runs. Looking forward to seeing her run.
And Blind Luck, right?
Yeah,
Blind Luck's coming. Yeah. So okay, what's going on at Twin Spires?
All right, well, we have 2 promotions at Twin Spires. I'm going to mention the first is the Bayou State Triple. All Twin Spires players who wager this Thursday will earn 5 times the points for Delta Downs, 10 times the points for Fairgrounds on Friday. And this is for Fairgrounds on Friday night, and 10 times the point for every dollar wagered at Delta Downs on Saturday. The second is a $25,000 Derby Prep Parlay. Players can win Players can wager $10 on one horse in up to 20 prep races, and you win a share every time that horse wins. Then you can let your shares ride on Kentucky Derby Day for a prize pool of $25,000. So check out twinspires.com for these and all of our promotions we have going on.
Okay, thanks to Twin Spires and Briss. Thanks to James for filling in. And thanks to everybody for watching. For James, I'm Jason. Good day and good racing.